Today's episode of Dungeon Crawlers Radio is brought to you by Gamers Inn, your one-stop location for all your gaming needs. Located in Lehigh City, Utah, their fun and friendly staff will be more than happy to answer any of your gaming needs. Just remember, Gamers Inn, it's where adventures begin.
It's time to power up.
Autobots, roll out! Broadcasting live from the DCR studio.
Oh yeah!
The Geek Revolution starts here.
Excellent!
Get ready for the #1 hit geek radio show out there.
Well, it is impressive, isn't it?
Because it's time for Dungeon Crawlers Radio. Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Alright, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dungeon Crawlers, where I don't know where to go.
Wait a minute. We have no map?
We don't have a map.
Let's get it from the backpack.
And this napkin?
There is a backpack. Alright, we're going to
mapping.
draw it.
Okay, here we are.
Baron is drawing a map because Scott isn't here. Scott's normally the guy that tells us where to go.
Oh,
Well, not really.
there's a where to go guy.
So no, Scott has a weird thing. You know, we're starting recording because the alarm goes off and then he suddenly does push-ups and it's weird.
Little to the left, everybody.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
alright. So with
Okay,
that said,
here's the map. Here we go.
we know where we're
Here's
going
the
now.
start.
So we're going to be
here's
talking about
finish.
science fiction, why we love it,
Exactly.
which
Fiction of the sun.
you like
and
it.
why we
Why?
like it.
Why do we continue to watch Back to the Future over and over and over? Even though clearly I don't have a hoverboard or auto
My
laces
wife
or a
asks
flying
me
car.
constantly, why do you like this stuff? And, well, it's cool.
Star Wars, Star Trek,
Because
Isn't
it's
it?
a way of talking about things without actually talking about
yeah, Galaxy Quest,
Oh,
all
yeah.
great movies that involve have science fiction themes to it. But why do we love it? What is so amazing about it? Is it
I think it's the motivational, awe-inspiring
of
magnitude
what could happen?
of what could and
Well, I mean, in some
Nothing
things in Back to the
should.
Future
And
have
has.
happened.
exactly right.
You know,
The Cubs won the World Series.
they did. You know, we do have teleconferencing through Skype and that.
Oh, yeah.
Effectively hit
We-
88 miles
Prediction?
per
Yeah.
hour.
We
You
can't
can.
hit 88 miles an
I
hour. It
did
just
that
doesn't
earlier
send us
today.
in time. We
Well, it got
we
me to work.
still don't have like
That's one part of it.
dehydrating
Little
pizza,
egg, still get there.
but we have some stuff.
some of that nice green bread.
Yeah,
Kevin Kline,
Kevin Klein underwears everywhere.
That was
Calvin.
past under.
That's right,
That
Calvin.
wasn't future under. That was past under.
Was it?
Why are we talking about underwear?
I mean, we don't have double ties.
Oh, yeah.
Don't have the shrink laces. I mean, they've got
The
like
auto laces,
Well,
They've
man.
got like the.
Some of
They've got some
what we
types
saw
of
there,
stuff,
there was
but-
like a warning, like, hey,
Yeah,
you
so
could be going
science
this way,
fiction
so you don't
allows
wanna wear a
us to
double
like
tie.
veto.
Here's
Right.
what one would look like.
You know,
Yeah,
however,
exactly.
the Jetsons.
All right.
The Jetsons is based in 2012.
It
We don't.
is?
Yeah,
I had no
you,
idea.
you didn't know that? Yeah, Jetsons was 2012. Obviously, we haven't created enough smog that we need to have, our cities up in the clouds.
We're getting there, buddy. I'd say
That's good.
out of everything in the
That's good.
Jetsons, we're actually closest to that.
The smog part.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have vehicles
Especially
that fold
here,
up into a
but-
briefcase, which I still don't know how that would work because that would have to be a really heavy briefcase.
Necessity is the father
Or
of
an
innovation.
extremely light material.
It might be. We don't have robots that are our mates.
What?
Well,
Rosie.
Well, we got robots.
What are you talking about? My
I'm
my
sorry.
parents
I
have a
just like
robot,
that
and
word.
it's named Rosie.
Is it one of those vacuum?
It vacuums all the time.
I named
Yeah.
my insulin pump Rosie.
And they did
Okay.
name it
She
Rosie.
keeps me
After the
alive.
Jetsons
is
robot.
it like a
Rosie the Roomba.
So,
Oh, it is a
so
robot.
did she cut? Your dad walked in. Hi, Mr. W.
No, my dad doesn't enjoy greetings, so he told her to be quiet. And it's been doing a pretty good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
not like Alexa or Siri?
Exactly.
Top parts
Won't
of
shut
Constant.
up.
Alexa, can it?
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to do that.
Here,
Obviously.
So we
here are
have
47 words.
predictions of the future,
Yes.
and we have warnings of the future,
Yes.
like 1984
Mhm.
and dystopian.
Yeah, there's a lot of dystopian ones that are out there.
Those ones.
Z for
those ones really
Zachariah
get
is
creepy,
another
though.
great one.
Did you guys see
Yeah.
the movie?
What is it?
Amazing.
Harrison Virgin?
Which one?
Burgess?
Hulu.
What?
It was on Z for Zachariah.
The book was much better than the movie. The
Oh
movie,
yeah, but it was well.
the movie was
well
okay. The movie was okay. They had
might
some
like
good
it better.
actors. You had Chris Pine, you had Margot Robbie, and what?
I believe it's Chris Pine, Margot Robbie. It's
That's
pretty
what
close. And
What did I say?
I
I said Chris Pine.
You said Chris
Chip Will is your
Pine
fool?
and
I believe.
Margot Robbie.
Okay, I said Pine. Sorry, I'm still trying to deal with my. All right, I had jaw surgery over a year ago, and I can't feel my bottom lip. So sometimes
wow.
that
still
comes.
can't?
That's,
Yeah, so sometimes that comes into play. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It may be permanent.
Sorry, man.
It's okay.
If it's a
No, I
year
feel
in,
bad.
I feel like
My last day
It
was
might be.
in my job. They got to do that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Email.
I got to take a
Oxy.
roommate to get his wisdom teeth out. So the dentist let me sit there. He was climbing on top of him. Can I take pictures?
Yeah,
and
they-
video? Oh,
those-
sure, yeah, go ahead.
He was like up on his
your
toes
wisdom
with the
teeth, they
flash,
have to
just
kind of-
yanking down.
pry him
They gotta
out.
pry those suckers
Oh,
out because
yeah.
those
Yeah.
roots can go up and around the bone.
It's crazy.
Turns out even and exposed wisdom tooth is difficult to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have those roots that like
Yeah, it's the
attach
roots.
themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So,
We don't-
science fiction.
Yeah.
So what is so it's the promise of what could be.
Yeah.
It is the warning of what could happen. It is the
And there's-
magic of like
Well, there's also
flashy
the
laser
wonderment of-
swords, like lightsabers.
Well,
Um,
also, I mean, different worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people out there have, felt a little bit alone, out of place, and saw, maybe there's another world where I belong or I'd fit in, but, I don't know, maybe I was the only kid.
Or
who
you
felt
just
like
go
that
to
way.
another dimension, and hey,
Or
you're
other
cool.
dimension. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's all sorts of things. that
Or
people
build some
dream up
friends.
like that.
Or you
Yeah.
build some
Or get
friends.
inside the machine
Well,
and make it all.
Well, we saw what happened to
Hackers.
a little 11-year-old boy that built a
Lawnmower
friend,
Man? What are we talking
Anakin Skywalker.
Oh.
And then his friend is
Wow.
probably one of the most annoying droids in the universe.
I don't know why he programmed him with a stick up his butt.
I don't know.
He just came out like that.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, we forgot to remove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. He said he would come back to finish it, but
Yeah.
he never
It's
did.
I
the
know.
wrench. It's the wrench that never got removed.
Yeah. You know,
They're still looking for it.
3PO.
Where'd that 916
I just don't understand.
Where's that 916 go? Oh,
why
I'm
why
sorry,
would you
it's a
give
robot.
an annoying personality to a robot?
Okay, but it probably wasn't intentional, and as a plot device, it was
Yeah.
really good.
And at the same time,
No.
I'm
was
sure that's what
necessary.
Anakin was thinking.
Anakin's
He's like, you know what?
personality wasn't not very.
40-ish years from now.
But he was kind of annoying too. So if you think about it, that kind
I'm
of fits.
gonna need
Yeah.
this
It's gonna be a
robot
great plot
Wee.
device.
bail me out.
These guys are going to really run this story forward.
You know, and there's so many. I love Star Wars, but there's so many plot holes. You know, Darth Vader. Anakin had R2 for how long? I mean, most of the Clone Wars and everything else, and yet here they are on Bespin, and they're yelling R2. You don't think he's gonna go? Hey, wait a minute! Isn't that my droid? I mean, come on!
Hey, little buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, little
point there.
buddy, come to the dark side. R2 probably would have. Let's face it.
Would
Yeah,
you have gone to
and
our
he's-
dark side, or would you have maybe saved him and like?
Okay, maybe. Chopper definitely.
Circumvented
Chopper
the
definitely
whole-
would have gone to the dark side from
Yeah,
Star
never
Wars
mind.
Rebels.
I don't get the artificial intelligence of how a robot would understand right from wrong.
I don't know either, but look at R2. Man,
Apparently
R2.
R2 can, but what about
Dude.
the other droids? Can they? Does that mean all the other little droids you see on the Death Star, are they really evil? Will they come up and try and clip your ankles if they know you're a rebel?
Well, but didn't the little droids weren't those who reported Jin Urso and
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah.
With the little black thing?
Yeah.
That's right. I think it's
Yeah.
kind of like Guards Up.
But then you also have the
little trash
robot
androids?
K2SO. He was like, you shouldn't give her a gun. Do you know the probability of her shooting us? It's really high. I mean, I'm sure he knows right and wrong.
Okay.
Well,
there-
right and wrong,
Oh, so you
or
get
probability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
So,
Well-
as it's been described in the Star Wars universe, there is a point where they start developing glitches, which is kind of like a personality. And so
What,
I think they
personalities
kind
are
of have,
glitches?
well, in their programming.
Well, no,
It's a
but
glitch,
like,
but it is, they
Broken
start
code.
becoming more, yeah, they start becoming more sentient, and that's why they're constantly wiping their memories.
So technically, every feature of your body is a
It's a
deformity
program,
from
yeah.
Yeah.
how we evolved as as
Well,
a
that's what I was
species.
saying. Is our
So I guess
personalities
that
are
it works.
glitches.
But robot
But like-
could be
but-
kind of the same way. It's
Yeah.
Happy
defects
eye
become
glitches.
its.
I mean, the
it's
same kind of thing
what
they
defines it.
did in the
Mm.
TV series Westworld.
Give
know.
me more time.
They created a program called Reveries, which allowed them to slowly start remembering their past lives because they're just robots that get
Mm.
killed and whatever.
Oops.
And as they're doing that, they're becoming more sentient, and they have an
Evolve.
uprising. Yeah.
Wait, I have
They
something
will
to add.
evolve. Yeah,
I
just
have
like
something to add.
that's kind of
Yes.
It was Chitwell at Shakur. Like
That's
I said
right.
before, yeah.
Yes. And he was also
Boom.
he ended up
Yeah.
he's going to be the bad guy in the next Doctor Strange
Excellent.
because he's mortal.
Sorry, I had to get you off of Star Wars because I don't know Star Wars.
That's
too
okay.
I
well.
know.
That's all
He
right.
only today found out what a horde was.
I still think it sounds like pork.
right.
You-
They sound
Because that's what it is. It's supposed to be something
and they
you
look
eat,
like
but
they were
instead they
tasty,
made
too.
Chewbacca throw it away.
You know,
I'm so mad
That's
at that.
exactly what a guinea pig
Chewbacca's
is.
so
It
cute.
is.
No, he should have eaten it.
He should have.
Chewbacca's no
People eat
preparing-
guinea pigs. There are
people's
people
arms
in the
out of
world
their
that eat
sockets
guinea
when he
pigs.
beats them when
Eat
they
a
beat
pork.
the game.
We actually
Eat it.
have-
Yeah,
we
eat
have
a
a couple guinea
eat
pigs
a-
as pets.
eat a pork.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Chewbacca was
Walking
supposed to be
around
this
like,
ruthless killer, and then all of a sudden he's like, I guess they're cute. No, it's food.
He
What else
was
did he
emoting.
eat? How else
I
did he
haven't seen
eat?
the movie
He
yet.
must have been starving.
And then they're all
no,
and now
but
because he did that, they're all over the Millennium
The
That's
Falcon.
why Han
horse,
died.
Can you imagine the mess
that
he's got to clean up?
emoting showed that they had some sort of soul, and so he didn't want to eat the thing that has soul.
That's debatable.
But a chicken has a soul, and I'm sure he eats chicken.
Okay, but does the chicken emote like
I'm
that?
sure it does.
I mean, Thor with the big eyes and looking all sad that he's about to eat his friend.
Last time I ate
Yeah.
a chicken, it was emoting. quite
Yep.
a bit.
Chicken's
Did you
I
eat it
usually
alive?
emote when I eat chicken.
No,
No.
it was
Yeah.
cooked.
You're one of those.
It was
weirdos.
alive, but it was. No, of course not.
It's cooked
Don't be
alive.
ridiculous.
It's not gonna eat a chicken live.
And I
He-
didn't have a conversation
He,
with him before I
did,
killed
he
him.
hasn't done any rituals this week.
This week.
This week.
Tonight, actually.
All right.
Later
Join us.
this evening.
Join us.
Stick around
Hatching
for After
Owlbears.
Dark.
Hatching Owlbears because they're going to
Because owlbears are cute and games are fun.
yes, and they're going to have some sort of weird ritual of magnetism
Eating live
and of
fried
attraction.
chickens.
What?
Yes.
Hmm.
How did that become
We are
part of
literally
it?
going to construct.
You
an
didn't
owlbear.
introduce us for this one
Out
either.
of
Well, it's
Bear?
because they
It's
heard the
chicken,
last
apparently.
episode. That's why I didn't do it.
Oh.
Wait, and wait.
We're
wouldn't
just
it be a
I'm just
bear?
assuming they've listened to the
It's a
last
bowel?
episode.
Wow.
It's just a bowel.
You should just go find two equally sized stuffed animals,
We're-
one bear,
yeah.
one owl,
Is that
and
like-
then
Oh.
That makes no
Stuffed
sense.
animals.
No, it doesn't make
there
any
you go.
sense.
Mix and match. Make your own
Way
plush
less of a mess.
bear owl,
Also,
owl bear, whatever it is.
So
Whichever.
again,
whatever it is.
because Natasha brings up again, we did not introduce our guests.
Well, yes.
Goodness.
We are almost halfway through this episode
Imposters.
and have
Alright.
decided.
We'll get better at this.
What's my name?
Yes.
Scott. Hi, I'm Scott.
So Scott isn't
Hi,
here
I'm Mackenzie.
No, this is not Scott and not Mackenzie.
Not-
because they're not
I'm
here.
Mackenzie.
We
We
got,
are
we got
the
Rob.
No, you're
2.0
not.
version.
No, you're
yes.
not Scott.
I'm not only not Scott, but I am also not.
This is true.
Yes.
But you're more not Scott than you are not Mackenzie.
No, he's more
You're
not
more not
I'm
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
probably
because-
more
He's
not.
more
Mackenzie.
not Mackenzie
But you're here to
because he's
be-
not a female.
So you're. But
Yeah.
yes, but that's not the knot that we're not talking about.
Then what knot are we talking about?
Well,
Like the
then
knot
what?
in a tree?
I do have a general.
Or the
Or
knot
a
in
knot
About
in
that,
a-
but
I am so not here
with a K.
and confused.
we had two.
Or dead.
We had two
two
geographical
Gs.
audiences we were reaching for: the
Like the
bearded
farm?
geographical audience and the female geographical
Yes,
audience.
but I'm closer to
And
the
so,
female and
Female
he's...
Exactly.
geographical audience.
And so you were filling Mackenzie's spot, but you're not Mackenzie.
But I'm not Mackenzie, but I'm
But
more...
you're in her spot.
I'm more not
The
Scott.
You may be further
She is
away
more
from
highly
being
the
like
inverse-
him,
No. She's,
but we're not likening you to him because you're not taking his spot. You're taking Mackenzie's
Okay,
spot.
you guys can vote
She
on
is
this
more highly
online
the
on whether
inverse
or
of
not
Scott
I am
than Mackenzie.
closer
This
to
is true.
Mackenzie
She
or
may
not.
have more dissimilarities between the two of them, but she is filling Mackenzie's role. Therefore, it would be important to then point out that she is not Mackenzie.
You know what is important to point out is that you're sexist because why not fill Scott's role?
Well, yeah, with you. That is why you are not Scott.
Also,
Yes, but
sexist.
he's more not Mackenzie
How is
at
that
that point.
sexist?
If
Scott
we're
would
being
be
It's
a
not
woman's name.
sexist.
Scott,
Okay, so
What
so this is how we'll figure it out. Scott has a
Not-
beard. Rock has a beard,
but he's not Scott.
but he's not Scott.
He's
He's
not
Rock.
Scott. Exactly. This is so hard to grasp.
But he is standing in for Scott.
Oh,
But he's more not
No,
Mackenzie.
no,
because
But he
he's
is
not
definitely,
Zero.
definitely not Mackenzie.
Definitely not Mackenzie.
So you
That's why
agree
we're
with
not going to
us.
bring it up, because there's no point in bringing it up.
Yeah.
So
He's more not Scott.
this is Rock, and this is Natasha.
Hi, I'm wrong.
And we have just
Hi.
made this so confusing. People are gonna go, "What the crap am I listening to?"
So
Yeah.
we're Natasha
yes,
and Rock from
We're no longer dungeon crawling as much as
From
we're straight
Hatching
jacking
Owlbears.
around in a padded
What she
room.
said, Hatching Owlbears.
Hatching Owlbears.
Because owlbears are cute.
and games are fun.
And they've already got their tagline down.
We're awesome.
We used to have a tagline, and then we got rid of it.
That almost sounded like pre-recorded.
You used to have a tagline. And
Yes.
you forgot it.
No,
What was
we
that
we
tagline?
just got rid of it.
Oh, did
was
you?
it?
Yeah, it
What
was
was it?
geek with chic.
Geek with sheep.
Yeah,
Is that because you like?
Daniel, I also
Learn
would have
what
gotten rid of
chic
that
was?
tagline.
No, because the chic I was using was like the wise man chic.
Oh, really? Like
Oh.
a sheep? Like
Yes.
Wow.
Rather than the
So,
Arabian
Not like-
So
princess.
then we got rid of
Chic.
that.
Not
We got
like
rid of
geek
that.
Do
chic.
people keep asking you about your harem, and you're just like, well, I don't want to
No.
explain this anymore.
People were like, "You're misspelling that." I'm like, "No,"
She's my chic.
and I have to constantly do it. So,
Yeah.
and then after that, we changed it to join the geek revolution.
Okay, that's
Better.
not bad.
Yeah. Also, because I would have been like, where are the sheep?
Yeah.
Sheep?
Yes, geek with sheep.
Yeah.
Geek
Yeah.
with sheep?
That's
Yeah.
See, that's cute. Because sheep are cute.
Yeah.
And geeks are fun.
See, we just
What?
rewrote your
Boom.
Yeah, you
tagline.
did. So, with that said, I think we're gonna hang up our hat and go. No, just kidding. Science
Sci-fi.
fiction. Science fiction. You know, okay.
Science fiction is great.
See, I don't see how sheep are cute because I've seen black sheep.
Why are we going back
And,
to
no,
sheep?
because it ties in.
Have you ever seen
Black
a
sheep.
baby
They
sheep?
genetically altered sheep so that they were killing machines. They were
Okay.
horrible, evil
Okay.
creatures.
Are
We
you talking
just
about the
talked
Chris
about
Farley movie?
however,
No,
we
not
just
that
talked
black
about
I do
sheep.
not remember that part.
Yeah.
cute and dangerous are not the same thing. You can have something that is cute and dangerous at the same time.
Like the rabbit in
Like the owl
in
bear.
Search for the Holy
Or
Grail.
sheep.
And a Wookiee.
Or sheep.
And
Or
a-
killer black
Or
sheep.
Fanged talented sheep.
Mhm.
Or the small rabbit from
Are we gonna
Monty
include-
Python.
Or like
Yeah.
llamas.
Are we gonna
Llamas
include
the
spit.
one with big fangs.
Are we going to include Bruce?
Or
Wayne?
house cats.
Bruce?
Banner or Wayne?
No, the shark from Jaws.
Oh, Bruce.
Oh,
Wait, from
Yeah.
Jaws
Wait,
or
Named
from...
him Bruce?
So
Finding
the
Nemo.
shark,
Don't
the
you
actual
find Nemo?
shark,
Yeah.
was named Bruce by Steven
Is
Spielberg.
that why the
Shark
one in
robot?
Nemo is
Yes.
called Bruce?
Yes.
As well?
Yes, that's
Oh,
why.
that's
That's why
amazing.
it has the
awesome.
name. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Morbid.
Yeah, he named
You
it
know
Bruce.
what my favorite picture of Steven Spielberg is?
The one with him in the mouth of the shark.
No, the one of him crouching down right next to the Triceratops,
Oh.
the animatronic
And it looks like he
Triceratops.
shot it.
Yeah, and all the people commenting about how he killed this endangered dinosaur that's probably going to be extinct now because of him.
Yeah.
They're already
Yeah.
extinct, folks.
Oh, goodness, Steven.
Okay,
How can
well,
you be
that's
so
that's
reckless?
another great science fiction movie.
That's
It
true.
was, wasn't it?
Jurassic Park.
Oh,
yes.
I'm excited for the next
Again,
one to come out.
talking
got a new
about
one
what
coming
we
out
might
soon.
possibly do wrong.
When does the new one come out?
Soon.
This year. This year.
Soon.
Yeah, I know, it's
Yeah.
like a couple months, isn't
It's
it?
this summer.
Is it May?
I
June.
think it's June.
June, because that's when my anniversary is.
Awesome. So this is the thing. That's a possibility of what we could do, and a possibility of what we shouldn't do,
Exactly.
and a possibility of what could happen and go
Yeah,
wrong.
if we did.
Yeah.
June
Well, and science
22nd.
fiction is all about
22nd, yep.
exploring the possibilities, right?
Yeah.
Because fantasy, where it differs, is possibility.
Well, fantasy still has the possibilities, but it's definitely not always something that can possibly be
Yes.
achieved.
Yeah.
Most often it's through magic, which doesn't
At
exist.
Most
least,
of
well,
the
at least
time,
from our knowledge,
The
right?
sci-fi
I'm not going
that
to
we
say
think of
magic
when we
doesn't
say sci-fi, the
exist.
space stuff, is also effectively magic.
In some ways, but it is still a possibility.
From where
When
we
you go
stand
far
now.
enough
Yeah.
back in
Well,
time,
then it's on the
everything
dark
we have
side,
nowadays
and I will
looks
crush
like
you with
magic.
my
Yes.
mind.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we were to go back in time right now and show someone our cell phones, what is
Yeah.
that?
That
How
is
does it talk to other cell
anthropologically
phones with magic?
appropriate.
Yeah. A lighter,
Entirely
even a
will-
basic as a lighter in our hands, we're producing fire in
How
our
do
hand.
airplanes work?
How far
Uh,
back are we
magic.
going?
Yeah. Well, let's just say early 1600s.
Well, and maybe that's where magic came from. Maybe someone just traveled back in time and
Boom.
began
No.
with sci-fi.
If you notice,
They're
a
on to me.
lot of technology really didn't start booming until right after Walt Disney did Peter Pan and let the secret of fairy dust out. That's really when Japan kind of took fairy dust, and next thing you know, we got Toshiba and
Is he a
Samsung and
conspiracy theorist?
Just stop.
What? Fairy dust? Is this some sort of drug like
there's
LSD or
Well, this
what?
made Peter Pan cry, right? This was science. This wasn't really magic. Isn't
You're
this
gonna
what
get
we
us all
discussed?
killed.
What?
This
no.
is where science fiction.
Peter Pan was not.
You do
science
know where
fiction.
fairy dust comes from, right?
Fairies.
You grab a fairy and just shake the
Shake
grabber.
I know. I see him downtown all the
do you
time.
know
I'm
where
not going to
fairies
go shake
come
him, though.
from? Do you
I
know
thought they
where
were born that way.
They were born from dreams.
They were born from a child's first laugh. If
Okay,
we're
that's
going
right.
by canon.
You're right. That is correct,
That's
canon.
true. That's
Yes.
true. It is.
So literally, that means you're shaking your child to death to get fairy dust.
Wow.
Wait. I don't think pixie
No,
dust comes
from
from
the
shaking
laugh.
baby syndrome.
That's
I don't
That's
think
what you're saying.
No,
No, it comes
Just
from
kidding.
shaking the child's first laugh.
Yes.
shaking.
no, it's from the first laugh when it breaks.
I don't think you're actually
When it
shaking.
I thought it
breaks?
yeah, I thought it said the first laugh
It has to do with
shattered
the child.
and it broke into a million pieces that turned into pixies and they all went dancing
No,
about.
no. Every time a pixie
No,
is
every
born is
time
from
a
a child's
pixie's
first
You
born.
do have to
laugh.
murder the laugh
But
in
is
order
it-
to get the dog.
Yeah.
Each laugh.
But yeah, isn't that?
And so you
I
get
think
pixie dust by shaking a pixie or a fairy.
But yeah, but a pixie is not your baby.
I know. I'm just-
Pixies
I was
might get
just
brain damage
teasing
though.
you.
I don't know. Maybe there's
They
a
probably
shaky
do.
pixie syndrome.
There probably is.
SPS.
And that's maybe why Tinkerbell is as ornery as she is all the time. Because people are always shaking her.
Well,
Sexist.
That makes sense.
How do we keep moving into this?
Does she
That
jiggle?
outfit.
Because we were talking about
Hey.
science
How
fiction.
science
you went
fiction
fantasy.
I
became
am so-
real.
No. Yes, that's wrong.
wait, so it's right.
A
Wait,
ticking.
what?
Well, I guess it could be a little bit
lot of
sci-fi
science-
because
It's
there's
not sci-fi.
there's a ticking clock. for
There's
crying out loud.
no technology in that.
Buck Rogers. In the
Buck
21st
Rogers,
century
yes. That
was
is
complete science fiction.
yes.
Yes.
And nowadays, most of
And now
that's
we have
not.
Twiggy.
We
Because of
have
that.
rockets that take. We have rockets that land.
Yes.
Jules Verne
And
predated.
we are all thankful for the
Peter Pan,
landing.
yes.
Yes, he did, and he had
It's
the
not
2,000 leagues
Fairy
under the
dust.
sea.
Yes. Well, more than that.
No, he
Around the
didn't
world in
predict
80
it. And he
days.
predicted it.
Journey to the moon and
I was saying
back.
when technology
10,000
took off.
leagues
So
under
he
the sea.
knew that the fairy dust thing was going to happen.
Oh yeah. There were
Oh,
some
all
people
right,
knew
all
about
right.
these things.
So he
now
was,
it makes sense to me.
Exactly.
So
that's
Wait,
that's
so
where we
fairy
get
dust
bows and
has
arrows
yet-
from.
so
We
he
never
was
got those
ingesting
if nobody
fairy
ever
dust.
knew
Is that
about
what
it.
you're saying?
I never said anybody
Wait,
ingested fairy
that's
dust.
back to fairy dust being a drug, right?
Well, he brought up the fairy dust thing. Yes.
That's a
Okay,
different
you
kind
mean
of fairy dust.
so he's saying
probably shouldn't be
we're talking about
talking
Jules
about.
Verne,
Yes,
right?
Jules
Angels
Verne
are
And the
was awesome.
science fiction behind
Yes.
Jules Verne.
Yes, exactly.
He's just
But-
saying that
but
pixie
we
dust
were-
is one of these things that might come about.
Oh,
Okay.
and he was saying that Jules Verne had the pixie dust, and I didn't say that he
I
had
say
it as
he
much as
predated
he
pixie dust.
Yes,
knew
he
what it
did.
could do.
And Jules
And
Verne
he did.
is fantastic.
And is he sci-fi or
He-
is he
I-
fantasy?
I would
He is
say-
sci-fi.
I would say
I
he's
would say
sci-fi.
he's sci-fi because
Exactly.
Solely?
Because
he does have
I call
fantasy
Melville
elements.
more.
So is
the-
he?
but at the
Verne.
time, well, but if you put it that way, then there's fantasy elements in Star Wars.
Well, there is.
Well,
there is.
totally is.
Oh, yeah,
But
Actually,
he is-
arguably.
I would say he is definitely.
It's more of a space fantasy than
Actually,
sci-fi.
you're
Yeah.
right,
Space
you're
opera,
right.
yeah.
Because the whole Force thing is
yeah,
magic.
arguably, it's
So,
more just a
Star-
space
Star
so
Trek
this is how it
is
is.
much more
Star
of a
Trek is sci-fi with fantasy elements, where
Star Trek is
Star Wars is
sci-fiction.
fantasy
with
science fiction elements.
and it's more the idea that you've just accepted that
Yeah.
spaceships exist and robots exist.
But
right?
like
It's
with
not
Jules
science
Verne,
fiction.
it definitely is science fiction because Journey to the Center of the Earth. We've never done that.
Mhm.
There is creatures in there. The Mysterious Island, again, that's more science fiction.
The Time Machine.
Time machine.
That's
The-
Jules Verne.
Oh,
I
sorry.
think it
Was that
spans
one?
Or no,
that
no,
area.
no, H.G. Wells,
slightly.
excuse me,
Oh, yeah,
H.G.
yeah,
Wells.
yeah.
But there's To the Moon and Back. That's definitely 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea with Captain Nemo. So there is a lot of science in his books.
Oh yeah,
A
definitely.
possibility, but there is still the fantasy element, like with the giant creatures and the smaller ones, or the
You don't know.
T-Rexes and stuff like that still exist in the middle of the earth.
Well, and
Yeah.
ultimately, science fiction
What
is
if
really
not?
asking the question, what if? Right?
Yeah.
You get that a little bit in fantasy, but really the question is, what if we had spaceships? Or what if we had robots? Or what if
Yeah.
we
we
encountered
had
other
artificial intelligence?
species.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I feel like if you start pulling in elements like dinosaurs, I don't feel like that's so much fantasy as much as that's more science fiction.
Exactly.
Because those really did exist.
But it's
we
what
have
if,
proof of that.
Yeah.
right?
And it
what
could
if we
be
brought dinosaurs back?
What if they never really were gone? What if we just don't
Well,
see them because
and
we're not
there
near
are
them
stories
anymore?
out
What
there
if
like
they-
that.
Because they're in
yeah.
the center of the earth or whatever.
Yeah.
And did you ever hear about? It was a book my dad told me about. It came out in the '70s where this guy was a pilot, claims he was flying over the North Pole and then suddenly came across this giant green valley that was lush.
The Great
And-
Valley.
And he wrote this book called Our Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
And he believes that the Earth is actually hollow and that there's
There
a
actually
civilization
is
inside
a
of
role-playing
our Earth.
game based on that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Hollow Earth, where dinosaurs and stuff like this do exist in there. That's also why in X-Men, in the South Pole, you have that area that Magneto has, and it's lush and vibrant, and there's saber-toothed tigers, and there's
Right.
dinosaurs and stuff like that, because there is kind of that thought theory, because we don't know.
Well, does that play with Journey to the Center of the Earth?
That kind of does, yeah.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and
And
so,
yeah.
again, there is that, and Jules Verne did really, he's kind of the architect for a lot of things, just like we have Tolkien, that's the architect for a lot of fantasy,
H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells as well. I mean, there are all these guys that just had these fantastic ideas. I mean, we do have submarines now, and a lot of that is because of the story of Nemo, 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So in some cases, some of these science fiction stories have come to life. You know, we do have spaceships, we do have rockets that have gone out to space. We do have, we have cell phones. You know, we can communicate with each other
Bluetooth
from our
and
pocket.
Wi-Fi
Yeah,
and
you know, those
4G
things did.
cell
Hi-Fi.
signals.
Yeah, I mean, those things
Hi-Fi.
did not exist back then. Now they do. I mean, yeah. I mean, the only
Very
time you could
meta.
do radio is go into into a building that had all this equipment, giant antennas. Now you can do it with a laptop and a microphone. Really.
And the
Right.
quality
just like
even
me.
of the sound that you hear.
In
Yeah.
the bathroom, sitting on the toilet with my cell phone.
You know,
Why
that's
did
okay.
we go to this?
Well,
And the
you know,
echo.
we have Michael Brent Collins on. He always talks about that, so it's not.
Really?
Oh yeah, Michael Brent Collins. Every time Michael Brent Collins is on the show, he talks about having to put on his pants to come in to
Oh
talk.
my goodness.
He
that's a
talks about
struggle.
giving birth to a golden baby, or when he dies, having one shoved up his rear end.
I
So,
don't even know what that's in reference to.
well, that's not in reference to anything. The reference for that is
It's highly disturbing.
sometime in the future, when archaeologists come digging and find his body, they're gonna wonder why there's a giant gold statue
That's fair.
in his body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in his
That's
skeletal
like the
cavity
ultimate,
to go, what strange practices were they
Michael Brent,
doing?
Well played, sir.
Yeah.
I'm in.
He's
Oh,
actually one of those
MF.
people that I really want to meet because I admire him.
However, very
Not for the gold
fantastic
baby, but just
author.
because I
But if
think
you
he's
ever read
awesome.
something of his, you will probably not want to walk through your house without the lights on. I have seen,
Or the pants.
I've watched horror movies and they don't faze me, but his books, I cannot walk through my house
Yeah, I can't do horror.
until with a light off
I
after
can't do
reading one
horror
of his
in
books.
general.
Yeah.
No.
So,
There are enough scary things in the world without making more.
but then again, in some cases, you
Name
can
one.
kind of lean into the sci-fi realm with horror.
Oh, I can start with so many.
Well, see, there's some great.
That's another story.
No,
That's a
yeah,
whole
there-
other show.
If you think about it, there are some good sci-fi. horror.
There are.
Oh, Event Horizon.
Honestly,
I think it's a very
as
good rating.
as long and drawn out and boring of a
Aliens.
movie as it was,
Aliens.
The
I mean,
green,
all those.
Aliens.
powder
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
that's
Oh,
people
aliens.
that they're eating.
What? Snow? Are you talking about snow?
No, like
Not
they
from
make they turn people into the green powder stuff.
Oh, green.
Oh.
Soylent Green.
Green, there we go.
Yeah, with Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Soylent.
That's
Mm.
I mean that's kind of a little
Logan's Run.
yes.
was it the Space Odyssey 2000?
2001.
Yeah, 2001: Space Odyssey. It was long, drawn out, boring, but at the same time,
Yeah.
the whole idea of the computer saying, "Oh, I've got to protect you, even from you."
Yeah.
Oh crap!
Hal, you're a
Yeah.
jerk.
Well, I mean,
Right?
yeah.
He was.
Can you say in some cases that Planet of the Apes is kind of a horror movie if you look at it from a
Yeah.
certain perspective?
It is. Our
Even
race
though it
has
is-
been destroyed.
totally.
Even
at
though it
that
is
point.
science fiction.
Yeah.
Again, another great science fiction movie. Even the remakes are doing a fantastic job. So,
Another one I really enjoyed, E.T.
Oh my goodness, I hate that. movie.
Definitely under. Oh, I thought it was a great
I
movie.
had nightmares.
Love E.T.
Yeah, he's
Nightmares.
terrifying.
the only thing I can
Terrifying?
this
He's
is this,
so like I don't know. I was like 5 or 6 when I watched.
you do
it.
know the
And-
ETs are in the Star Wars universe.
I just no.
They
Yeah?
are.
Yeah.
If you look in the
No, that
scene,
just ruined-
if
that
you look
ruined
in
Star
the
Wars to me.
rotunda, if
How
you-
did you manage
Even
to ruin
I knew it.
Star
Yeah, in the
Wars?
count in the.
if you look in the
They're one of
rotunda
the
when
councils,
when
right? One of
the
the
chancellor is
counselor
speaking, if
rotunda.
you watch one of the discs, you see the ETs in there.
There's a whole group of them, like 5
Yeah.
or 6.
He only
And they're all-
extraterrestrials.
Yeah. So they
you know what?
are
She's
in
got
the
a point
Star
though.
Wars.
That's kind of a creepy movie. Like
It's really
this dude
creepy.
comes down to Earth
Uh-huh.
and
And then
hangs out with a
attaches
bunch of little kids.
his life
bedroom.
force to a
hides in the
little
kid's
kid,
bedroom.
puts
And
on
then-
creepy wigs.
And
Yeah,
then these
like
guys
really
come
wants
in
to be touching him all the time.
and like put this whole
He's got
like
like this
Hazmat
wound
thing,
fetish,
encase
yeah.
right?
thing.
Yeah.
He's like candy
It
and
was
blood.
terrifying. I
Hey.
swear I slept on my
I love
parents'
Reese's
floor
Pieces.
for a month.
Because of them.
I love Reese's Pieces.
Did
They're
you know
delicious.
that they asked M&M's first, and
Yeah, and they
M&M's
said no.
turned them down, and then
That's
Reese's Pieces,
insanity.
when the movie got released, Reese's Pieces sales skyrocketed.
Oh, yeah?
All you gotta do
Of
is
course.
taste them and you know.
Product
this
placement.
Well,
is-
it's brand
This
recognition,
is the thing.
brand placement. I don't know why M&M's would have said no.
Let's go back to the pedophile alien. in the closet with the little
See?
girl.
Someone
Just not
gets why it's
pedophile alien.
terrifying.
I don't
Yeah.
think it actually had any sort of genitalia that
Okay.
could have done.
I'm gonna say this.
Let's
You
stop.
could probably
You've
watch.
taken it too far.
You
Well, he was saying a
Cross the
pedophile
line.
alien. The alien doesn't care.
You know what?
you
Freud
could
would
probably.
say that
He
it
likes
doesn't actually have to
peanut
involve
butter.
genitalia at all.
That's true.
to be
Wow.
sexual.
Let's just move on.
Yes.
Needless to say, some people find the movie creepy. You can probably find a creepy reason in any movie.
That's fine.
I
My
mean,
Little Pony.
Absolutely.
oh yeah. Why do we have bronies? That's just creepy.
Oh wow, yeah.
Every
That's,
brony out there.
Let's
is
not
kinda
hit on bronies.
Okay, I'm sure they love that, but I
creepy.
just
There's some-
I find it creepy when there's a grown man dressed as a pony. But that's okay if they'd
See,
love
that
to
doesn't
do it.
bother
But
me at
that's
all.
their thing.
But
Yeah,
the grown
that
man
doesn't...
having the exact same interests as my 9-year-old little girl
See,
does creep me out.
No, I feel like it goes back to that childhood.
but then yeah, I mean, and
And so
I
long
can
as
play
it's
with a lot
not
of
made
toys.
Yeah, that's
weird.
okay.
In make-believe
Right?
places.
so maybe I'll retract the
I've had
brony
to
thing.
watch it because I have
Yes.
a daughter.
What makes
And it's
what I find creepy
you can
is
tell
the
that minors
bronies
are-
It's
that
your
wear the
stuff, right?
horse head.
They have some
They're not
decent
wearing
people in there,
a
actually,
shirt,
Okay, I feel like
Well,
it's
they-
creepy when
She's-
anyone
she's
does
11
that.
now. I don't
and
want-
then
yeah.
they have these
But
weird
my
horse
daughter's
Mine's
things.
10, so we were
Yeah.
both watching
But that's
ponies at the
that's
same time.
different.
Probably.
That's
Yeah.
not
Probably.
being a
You know
brony
what my favorite thing
necessarily.
Yeah.
It's legit.
I don't know what that
When
is,
my daughter said
I-
she wanted to watch
yeah.
Animaniacs.
and it's like
Oh man. Mine
Yeah.
tells me the
That's
How to
the-
Train Your Dragon down.
Oh yeah, she's watching that right now.
you know,
too.
Animaniacs is
Vikings
coming
and-
back, right?
Yes,
Yes, I
and
did know
I'm
that.
a little nervous.
It's the original cast.
I'm still a little nervous.
What?
Animaniacs is coming
Oh,
back
yeah, I heard
with
that.
the original voice cast. So yeah,
They're
I
they're
love
awesome.
Animaniacs.
I have a
They're
picture
awesome.
with all of them. They're amazing.
Twisted Tunes. Have you been to that? at
I
Comic-Con?
skip that every year.
Why do you skip it?
Because I'm busy doing other things.
Okay.
He finds it highly.
No.
Rock? No.
Again,
No.
Freudianly speaking.
Stop.
Freudianly?
Anyways, so
But not Freudian
we're out of time.
literacy.
we're definitely out of time.
Sigmund
So
was
with that
speaking.
said,
Sigmund?
Why are we stopping on this note?
because I don't want to go further.
Okay,
So-
good call.
So with that
Go
said,
ahead.
let us know what you think about sci-fi, why you love it, and we're gonna get out of here before something falls out of
Okay. Yep.
someone's diaper.
Bye.
We're out of here.
You're listening to Dungeon Crawlers Radio. Please subscribe and follow them on Facebook or Twitter, please. No, we're even promoting these filthy idiots. Who doesn't like them? Who doesn't like anyone? No, they're our friends, please, our friends. No, shut up. Please subscribe.
BayCon 2018 returns this Memorial Day weekend to the San Mateo Marriott San Francisco Airport for its 36th year as the longest fan-run science fiction and fantasy convention in the San Francisco Bay Area. This year's theme is Patchwork Fandom, Stitching the Generations Together, and will focus on costuming and programming items aimed at connecting younger and older generations of SFF fandom through shared interests. BayCon's writer guest of honor is Tamara Pierce, recipient of 2013's Margaret A. Edwards Award for The Song of the Lioness and Protector of the Small Quartets. Her newest novel, Tempest and Slaughter, has just been released in hardcover and ebook. BayCon 2018 will also welcome artist guest of honor Margaret Organ Keene, fan guest of honor Christopher J. Garcia, and Toastmaster M. Todd Gallowglass. Come join us for a weekend of fun and fandom. Get your membership at www.baycon.org.